sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. This is MacDonald Carey, and these are the days of our lives.
Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, simple question of the night. Where is it? Who is kidnapping all the DiMeras on Days of Our Lives? I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even too sure if I was actually going to come on tonight. I woke up, I pretty much dragged myself out of bed, and for a good 20 minutes, I just kind of stared right into the damn void. I don't know how long this live stream is going to be, but I think I'm partly doing this because I said I was going to do it, even though there wasn't really any shows on today, and I'm not even counting Days of Our Lives, but we'll talk about it as well as the other shows. Black Mom's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ronnie Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Darby is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sean is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope everyone had a good day. Everyone had a good Thanksgiving. If I should even. Oh, okay, Clyde. Clyde, okay, all right, that's interesting, Ron. What's good, Krista? Of course, Queen, of course. I was like, I don't know if I'm not gonna do a live stream tonight. And I was like, all right, well maybe I'll do one tomorrow. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I'm actually gonna do a double stream. I prepped everything for tomorrow's member stream now, so everything's good for that. Then tomorrow I'll work on Sunday stream, which should be pretty good. So we'll do that. I'm doing good, Black Mom. How you doing tonight? Finally waking up. Yeah. Thank you, Sean. I do too. I do too. I love the different type of streams that we do in the member stream. You know, there's something really interesting about going back and watching like the classic soap operas and stuff. You know, that's been a lot of fun. So I got a really good one. I got a really good one this weekend. As actual shooter Rachel. What will the court do when they find out that Kristen lied? They'll probably let her go. I mean, she may have to do community service and maybe a fine, but you know, I think that'll be about it. I don't really see any huge consequences, you know. Not really. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun Saturday and it's gonna be fun Sunday because we got two people that we're gonna be looking at, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yeah. You know, just for any of my Days of Our Lives fans that's in here. I mean, listen, I still understand where Jennifer's coming from. I do. I understand where Jennifer's coming from. Um, I sat there and I was like, watching them, 1 second, Ron, watching them chew out Chad because he wasn't there. You did everything that they possibly could to make him feel unwanted. So then when he doesn't show up, then he wants to sit there and bitch and complain. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing at this point? This is like, it's so goddamn retarded. I was like, what am I watching at this point? Thomas Smith there bitching and complaining the entire time. I don't want him there. And then he's not there. Then he starts getting a frowny face. Like, you know what, Thomas, fuck you. And yes, I understand he's a kid, but in all reality, he's pissing me the hell off. He is honestly telling you to drive me up a goddamn wall. He made it so uncomfortable for his sister. Let me turn some music. He made it so uncomfortable for his sister. I don't want him there. Then the minute that he's not there, then he starts looking all sad and pouty out. I was like, you, your ass didn't want him there, right? So you got what you wanted and shut the hell up. Uh, I think DC was really surprised just how cold and unsympathetic that I can be. I'm like, I don't think that you understand. I don't think you understand what kind of string you're in. I'm not the sympathetic and what is this? I'm not the sympathetic. eh, I disagree with that, Darby, but I respect your opinion. What's your take on Marlena admitting to Brady and Bell she knew? I just listen. I understood why Brady was upset. I understood why Brady was upset. I get it. You know, in reality, you failed. You failed him. I don't. Listen. I guess maybe just Brady as a parent just felt like he failed her. You know, in some ways he did, but it wouldn't be equal to fucking. It wouldn't be equal to Kristen and her bad behavior and bad examples of just horrible shit that she's done for years. Yeah, I wouldn't sit there and go that far. You pretty much kind of putting Brady and Kristen on the same level. I mean that's true, but yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I don't like the fact that they didn't put the spoiler on their actual channel. That I actually have to sit there and go out of. I actually have to go out of my way to sit there and try to find shit like I'm feeling a post everyday life. I know you for nearly 4 years, and this is taking years off. I'm just saying, like, when DC was here, DC was like really shocked. He was like, "Oh, but she's a child. Oh, but she's young. Like Sophia's young. As Thomas is a very impressionable kid." I was like, so. If I tell a child, if I tell Thomas to sit there and run across the street without looking both ways, and he does it, guess what? That's his fault. Sophia got herself into a mess by spreading her legs before she was ready to sit and have a baby. That's her fault. Her blaming her issues on Johnny, that's her fault. And I honestly tell you the truth, she could have scarred Johnny for life with that lie that she did. Because a lot of people, honestly tell you the truth, people are stupid. Most people in this world are stupid and won't bother to sit there and take the time to be like, oh, okay, he was clear of those charges. He wasn't sitting there sexting um his student. He wasn't doing inappropriate stuff with his student. Most people won't do that. Google's the easiest thing in the world to sit there and search for stuff, but yet people are too stupid and too lazy to be bothered. They'll make up things and be like, "Oh, it's Frank's fault for Michael leaving. I just know it." I was like, you coming on here hollering and bitching about shit, but yet your dumbass can't be bothered to take 5 minutes to Google shit? Like, what is wrong with you? Danny Bear 87 is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Lisa is in the chat. How you doing tonight? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Yeah, and you know what? Listen, that's actually very true. That's very true, Darby. Her and Julie, they both sat there and did that. So watching them today, sit there and trying to clean things up and be like, "Oh well, he's your father" and stuff like that. I was like, girl, what was that energy before? What was that energy before? It was good, Lisa. How was your Thanksgiving? I'm sorry to hear that, Danny Bear. Yeah, it's so weird. And then, they're gonna do their Thanksgiving episode on Monday, which, listen, fine, whatever. I've never cared for those episodes. I know people find them to be wholesome and sweet and whatever adjectives that I don't care about. But they're just gonna do the same sad ass joke they're doing for years. Oh, we're not gonna have turkey this year. We're gonna have pizza, and it's like the nurses' ball. I so don't care about the nurses' ball that they do every single goddamn year. It just like I get to a point. It's like I'm not even gonna just probably want to reviewing it. Or I'm not gonna talk about the performances because I'm just gonna fast forward through them. Like I just don't care. I don't know. It's amazing the things that some of these soap operas just sign off to. I'm like Jack and Jennifer. Where were they when they were the it couple on Days in the '90s? What the hell happened? Um, well, you glad that Thanksgiving's over? I'm not saying like, where's my phone at? Because like somebody brought up a really good point, and I did put them in the pin comment if I can find a damn pin comment. Because a lot of people were, there was a couple people that was like, oh yeah, Laura did the right thing contacting Sonny. I was like, Laura the mayor contacting Sonny, the number one town's fucking criminal, was the right thing to do. And then people, listen, I'm not trying to share on people's opinions. I'm not. But people were just like, oh, the PCP can't sit there and catch criminals, so I'll sit there and run my chances. I'll take my chances with a mob boss. So I was like, wow, okay. It's just like the fucking standards got that low that we just, oh, we're not trying to hurt Chad. I mean, it was right for Laura to call Sonny. I feel like I can't drink that. I feel like I. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's call the town criminal to sit there and help me. I just thought you, Laura should have never been mayor. If we're gonna be honest, the fact that she's not there having open dinner coming, the fact that she's openly having dinner with the guy who is literally the fucking criminal of Port Charles. You know, okay, Danny Bear, if you want to tell me why you thought it was right for Laura to sit there and call Sonny the mob boss instead of calling the cops? I'm very curious about that. I mean, it's your opinion. I respect it. I disagree, but I respect it. I just want to know why you thought it was okay for the mayor to call the local mob boss to sit there and help instead of calling the cops. I don't understand how we got so ass backwards in society that we are just calling the criminals for help. But okay, I'm just kind of curious on why. Christmas is coming, and I'm very happy about that. I always listen to Christmas music. Um, it's always because she was set up. Liba? Libera? Okay, I cannot pronounce that name, but then the truth went. But the thing is, okay, okay, that's your answer. Your answer is if the police department found Dalton's in Laura's trunk, then she will be arrested and the truth wouldn't come out. What do you think is going? Okay, well. to counter that, what do you think is going to happen when the truth does come out? You think that she's not going to be in trouble for tampering with evidence and stuff like that, and conspiring to conceal evidence and stuff like? Because the thing is, a lot of times with these shows, the truth eventually does come out. You know, it would take a while for the truth to come out, but I mean, to sit there and say the truth wouldn't come out, I don't know. I would have called something. Okay, this is where we're at. Okay, all right, cool. We're calling a local mobster to sit there and I'm just like in the long run, when the truth comes out, I'm gonna be. I know that if I call Sonny and the truth comes out, I'm gonna be in way worse trouble. I'm gonna be in more trouble because I sat there and conspired with a known criminal to sit there and hide a dead body. But okay, okay. I can't. Um, you see Brady changing his tone towards Kristen now. I don't know. Apparently, Sean. Apparently, we live in bizarre land where you know when we want to get out of trouble, we'll sit there and call the local mobster to get us out of trouble. That's an interesting twist. That's an interesting twist. I mean, okay, that's an interesting twist. Then you see Brady changing his. I don't think he's gonna fully change his tone, Ron. I mean, she has done some terrible things, but like he could be apologetic towards that. What else is going on in General Hospital? What else is going on in General Hospital? You got Jack, right? And Carly. I still want to know what's good, Dolomedics. I still want to know what is Carly's ultimate goal, right? Because I don't. It's not like she's gonna just sit there and just snatch Jocelyn out the WSB and just whisk her off somewhere, unless the actress wants to go on break. Um, it'll be interesting, Ron. It'll be interesting. It give him something to do. So I'm cool with that. But like, what is her goal? She wants to get Jack out and get somebody new in. I mean, the whole reason why she felt somewhat safe, as far as Jack being Jocelyn's handler, was that for the most part he was going to make sure that Jocelyn was okay because well, Jack was dating her. Moving him out the equation just puts her in more danger because then she's going to sit there and have to deal with somebody who isn't dating Carly and who doesn't really care that much about Jocelyn. So I feel like it's just more of a pathetic attempt as far as just giving Carly her own little separate story. But I don't know. And it's funny, and not to even really harp on that, but like I feel like if I put out a poll on Instagram, if I put out a poll on YouTube and be like, was did did Laura do the right thing as far as asking Sonny for help? There'd be a huge majority of people that would sit there and say yes, and I'll be so disappointed. Chris and Jason are going to kiss. Jason has been a virgin for 2 years. Yeah, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that relationship, right? I mean, what does that even sit there and say about society? It's like, um, I mean, seriously, you treat a guy like shit, and somehow, you know, he doesn't sit there and kick your ass to the curb. He makes out with you. He spends a lot of money on buying you an expensive car. Like, yeah, no, you could just act like shit to something to a man. It's totally okay because he'll reward you with a new car, patience, and making out. Ron, and how people are today. I don't think that he's just being. I don't think that he's being paranoid. I think there's reason for concern. And it's funny because I know that a couple people in this chat have sat there and said they made Jason a simp. And again, part of me is just like, I don't understand when it became so bad to sit there and show a woman affection or to do things for a woman that they like, that they find beautiful. I don't understand I don't understand where this whole simp thing came from. It's like, what a guy's supposed to sit there and just be straight up assholes to women that they like? Is that it? You show any ounce of kindness or concern, that's a bad thing. I don't understand where that became a bad thing. I really don't. And, again, Danny Bear, I don't even understand where that even actually came from. By the way, so you got a haircut. Also, do we know who's holding Kristen and Tony? Haven't seen days since Wednesday. No, they didn't sit there and they didn't even sit there and show it today. All they showed was Chad. Chad is also kidnapped now. We still have no idea. At least I don't know. Jason is Carly, Carly. Yep, exactly. Chad got kidnapped. Jennifer and Jack are sitting there talking trash about him, being like, "Oh, you're not a good father. You're hurting your kids again." Your asses act like y'all didn't want him there. And again, Thomas was sitting there being all pissy, which was another thing that was annoying me. For 20, 40, 30 good damn minutes, all he kept doing was whining and complaining. I'm like, bro, yeah, yeah, Ryan, that's been passed around. Could be Andre. Well, you know what? Listen, at least with that being said, people aren't saying like, when's the last time they saw Chad? Dominic says, I'm curious who is kidnapping all the DiMeras, but I have a feeling it might be Dr. Roth with some convoluted excuse. Flycrick says, Albert, damn, Chad got it. Got is his Vivian. I know she kidnapped Stefan. Could it be Vivian? I mean, at this point, it could be anybody, but I don't see why it would be Vivian, though. Like, Vivian, Vivian already got what she wanted. She got Stefan. I don't see her having a use for Chad, you know? Now, I saw the promos, and they're bringing back Sophia Choi, which, uh, I'm not gonna lie, it makes it so damn difficult to review the show sometimes, especially when they do things where it's like, like I don't, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Sophia Choi. I don't. I really don't. If a guy does, eventually that same woman calls him weak. Like I said, I find it. Yes, thank you, Sean. I find it weird. What's good, Eagle? You said it like you were personally offended by Sophia being brought back. I just, I'm not gonna lie, though. Like, kind of in a way, I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I saw you on a big soap opera star now, who is the Asian chick. Yo, I am loving doing. I'm loving doing those shorts. DC put me on that. DC Soap Sanctuary put me on that, and it's been so fun. And thank you for reminding me. Thank you, Don Max. Yeah, they've been a lot of fun to do. They've been a lot of fun to do. Thank you, Dolomedics. I I plan on doing a couple of different, and you reminded me. I plan on doing a couple of different series with them. Um, I got like the romance stuff that I'm doing. I'm gonna be doing a crime drama. I'm gonna be doing a crime drama, and that's gonna be fun. I told you about that stuff. I told you about the AI stuff. I can't wait for my Ultra 26 and next year is going to be AI focused on stuff like that. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I got this romance like this Korean drama romance thing that I'm doing. And at some point I'm gonna be doing like a crime drama, like a detective crime drama. Yeah, Ron. I mean, listen, Ron, at the end of the day, that's your opinion and I respect it. Okay. I don't you know how I feel about it, so I don't even really know why you're bringing it up, but it feels like that's all that really matters, right? Ego says, I got tired of all the souls being bad. Facts. You know what? It's funny. I kind of thought about that shit too. I was like, yeah, if I could listen, I'll make my own damn soap opera. I'll make my own damn soap opera. Shit. Since Gloria Money was on, I watched. Tuscany says they are at night. Yeah, it's funny. I think I really didn't like that one. Eagle says Abba is going to put himself with Jason Morgan and Sunny AI. Nah, but, there you go. Make sure that they upload it. Yeah, since okay, because I'm never gonna put this out. I figure I'll show y'all this now. Delmax says Aber was watching me on the gates one day and says, "Screw it, I'll do it." Like, why not? Shit, why not? Honestly, tell you the truth, I think mine is actually gonna be pretty damn good. Like for 10 seconds, I think my soap opera is gonna be pretty damn good. If anything else, they're a lot of fun to make. What's good, Krista? I'm not gonna answer that, Ron. I already answered that question. Like, I don't understand why you keep asking me that question like every day, and I keep answering every day. Like, you're my answer the first time. Like, I don't understand why you keep asking that question. Like, I swear, I feel like you're like trolling me or something. I'm not falling for it. You want to have sister wives and be with multiple people, that's cool. But most average people aren't going to sit there and be like, why don't you think that Portia should be with both Curtis and Isaiah? Because it's fucking disgusting. And it's weird. I mean, unless you're into that, and listen, do you? But like it's like the answer should be pretty damn obvious. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying. Now, most of these, fuck it, I'll just sit there and share. Most of the stuff, when it doesn't work out, it really doesn't work out. But I'll share it anyway.
Mina, wait!
Albert?
I know I hurt you. I brought your favorite tulips, and I learned a word just for you, saranghe.
You remembered.
Will you give us another chance?
Listen, I probably would do some stupid shit like that, and try to learn, um, you know, like the kind of like makeup. I'm like, that wasn't even my damn face. like, like most of the times the AI does a good job, but when they don't do a good job, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was they've been fun, Danny Bear. Mike says it's next great super couple. What's the ship name? Now I put out this one today. I'm not gonna okay, first of all, I'm gonna sit there and say that this AI version is dressing way better than me. He's also seems like a lot smoother than me.
Came to Seoul thinking it was just another business trip. Then on a street lined with blossoms, I saw her.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries, I'm Albert.
June.
From that moment, I knew I'd be.
Like, damn, I don't remember actually being like I'm not that damn smooth. Shit. I do like that outfit he was wearing though. That smile was a little that smile was like low key kind of creepy though. I'm gonna be honest. Um, but yeah, Sean, they've been so super addictive though. Like you can only, it's funny too. You can only do 15 a day, and then after that, you have to either wait 24 hours to do more, or you can pay like I don't know, like $4 or $5 or whatever, and then you can start doing more. And I started paying because I was like, yo, I'm not waiting 24 hours. I'm just I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not waiting. But yeah, they've been fun. Like I said, I got a crime drama one too. So, hmm I mean, to be fair, Sean, like the app is free. The app is free. So I don't know, Ron. Um, the app is free. So like in all reality, I wouldn't even mind paying. Like I would pay to sit there and have the videos longer. I would pay to actually have the videos longer. So, but yeah, and like you said, Sean, the actress Fiona Hughes, I'm assuming she's on vacation because like she's been going for a while. She's been going for a while. But honestly, to tell you the truth, this isn't the first time like Fiona kind of left. She either got kidnapped or plane crash or she's in a coma or something like that. Back in the back in the day, when it used to be, Luke and Robert and Holly. What's the name of the app? The app is called Soar. Um, SORAS. Soars. Yes. No, SORA. Soar. And it's fun. DC put me on it. DC put me on it. I was like, yo. And he was doing some. Oh shit. All right, he sent me a new one, so I'm gonna share with y'all. I like the original version of Sora for the character models for my a user. Oh, nice, nice. I did like how they looked. I really did like how they looked. So you were definitely on to something. And well, I have to share. But how, if you don't mind, how is it coming along? How is this all coming along? I'm tweaking it a little bit. I'm super close to having some of you guys test read it for me. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Listen, take your time, and whenever you're ready, um, I definitely want to sit there and read it. Yes. Definitely, definitely, definitely. That's what's up, though. Have you been having fun doing like the process and stuff? Yeah, I'm like, oh, really good. I'm going to do it as a pros. I'm going to do it as pros, writing up to like 30 episodes. I'm refining and have about a year's. Oh wow, Damn. Okay, so you've been working this for a hot minute. Ron says, if it's true that Vivian is behind all the DiMeras being kidnapped, then what's you going to say? Then what are you going to say? Remember, she has stuff in some way, and what will Gabby do? Remember, or I mean, Gabby would be upset. I don't know exactly what she would do. That's a good question. I mean, she's dating Philip. I mean, like Gabby has been known to sit there and dump somebody like there's no tomorrow, like real quick. And listen, if it's Vivian, I'll be surprised. That's what I say. I'll be surprised. I don't see how it could be Vivian, but I don't see why it would be Vivian. Comex is a plan. I'm planning it for a Monday, Wednesday, Friday rollout of new characters or episodes. Okay. But yeah, that okay. Like I said, whenever you're ready, whatever you want to come on, you want to promote it, you want to promote it here, you want to promote it in the member stream first, whatever. You just let me know. Just email me or you know, we'll make it work. So DC sent me another one of his shorts. Um, I'm assuming I have permission to use it, so I'm going to use it.
No, that's impossible. I watched you die. Eli, I'm home. How?
The love you thought was gone returns. Days of Our Lives.
Uh, I love it. What's good, Jonathan? I love it. It was good, Jonathan. How was yours? How was yours, my friend? How was yours? It's interesting. Um, of course, like a course between like days and days and passions a little bit. Ron says you're right. If Gabby finds out that Stefan is being kept from her and Vivian is responsible for all this, she will drop Philip. Yeah, um, I can see her doing some shit like that, and I know she'll just use the whole well, the heart wants what it wants. And speaking of that, she ran into JJ, and I'm like, JJ, please get over this woman, okay? Because he got over it last time. He was like, you know what? Listen, I'm done apologizing. He walks away. He sees the fact that she's moved on, and now he's all like upset, like or sad. I'm like, come on, bro. You dodged a big ass damn bullet. Be happy. Where'd you hear that from? Hmm. Where'd you hear that from? Yeah, it's funny. I saw. I mean, I didn't watch the video, but I saw that I saw he put out a video. It's very, sometimes I feel like it's very rare when I actually have time to watch other people's stuff. Hmm. I mean, my whole thing is like Peter Blake is supposed to be what Kristen's brother, right? I wonder if it's the actor that played Dustin, aka Brody, because Brody was a one like to live character, and now they got somebody that's coming after. Well, Ron surprisingly asked a very smart question as far as should Alex be concerned for the person that was writing the fan mail to Stephanie? Oh, he's also a DiMera. Okay. Smith says, "I heard Peter Blake is going to force EJ to tell him where Rachel, Chris, and Mother is." Oh, what purpose of JJ's on the show? Hmm. I mean, I don't know if I disagree or whatever. Johnson says it's the actor who played Kevin Buchanan. His name is Dave. Oh, Dave Gotea. Okay. Oh, Dan. Dan Gotea. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's the one that's snatching everyone up. And at some point, well, I'm assuming that they're gonna snatch up EJ too. And I saw some of the previews. But first of all, the fact that I have to sit there and like go out and search to find this full winter previews when it should be, you know, on the Days of Our Lives page, um, it's kind of annoying. I didn't get a chance to do it, but I saw the short one though. Seems that EJ remembers Gotia rhymes with ya, with yay. Oh, Gotea. Is it Gotea? Right? Happy Friday, Tracy Steves. What's good, Amber? Oh, Gotia. Oh, goatee. It's French, right? Oh, goatee. Goatee. Yeah, it's French. Why does it have to have such a why does he have to have such an overly complicated name? Goatee. Oh, is it goatee or goatee? Goatee. Yeah, it's French, so it's as close as this is probably gonna sit there and get, but okay. Um, I just goatee, goatee. I'm close. I'm probably not gonna wind up getting it. No reality, but anyway, yeah, because it's like it's a French name, So you kind of gotta say with a bit of an accent. You gotta say with a bit of an accent. But anyway, yeah. I mean, my whole thing is like as long as the Domex says, "Oh, I don't want to move too far away from the American South, but I gotta ask, what do you think of?" I didn't watch it in the past 3 days, but it's really interesting though. There was stuff that they didn't show um, on YouTube. I guess it was like an after dark sort of thing. Like it was because apparently like Dodger got sexually assaulted by Froggy's son, right? Okay, think of the PTA from school and replace it with he would go, would go. Go tier. Max says that was the stuff from Hollyoaks later. It's basically Hollyoaks if it was HBO Max. Donnie was dropped. What? I wish they would have actually played that. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, that's cool, Ron. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to sit there and. I'm glad you're telling me. I didn't get a chance to sit there and watch it. Like, I saw that. Oh shit! I saw he put out a video, but like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch it. So I think I would rather just find the preview, see it myself, and then if I want to get his take on it, I would watch it afterwards. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little I was a little annoyed by the fact that they didn't show it on their official YouTube page because people are sitting there watching it and they're like, "Did I miss something? Like, was in an episode that I missed?" The last part I was up to, Lucas had once again beat the shit out of his dad, and and Dylan walked in and he saw it. Womack says, "Yeah, Hollyoaks every few years when they want to tell a really dark story, they use Hollyoaks later. The last one they did was with Brenda, the serial killer, and she was torturing Tony on a pig farm." I'm a little annoyed. Well, I don't understand why they couldn't show that on YouTube. It's not like they don't show. It's not like YouTube doesn't like show shows and movies that curse. I don't know. Maybe they want to be demonetized. Maybe I'm guessing that's probably the reason why is that they didn't want to be demonetized. I vaguely remember that show. I remember it vaguely, Jonathan. I think it was more like a parody, like soap opera or telenovela or something. Yeah, Sean. Have a good night. Like I said, I was a little disappointed that they didn't show it on YouTube, but maybe they felt like maybe they just like I said they didn't want to be demonetized. So that's the only thing I can sit there and really guess about it. Now they couldn't show that on YouTube without some kind of disclaimer. I think it's because the whole episode was dark. Mm. Mm. It's still a shame that they couldn't show it though. It's like it's like when you're reading a comic book and then they veer off and they start like showing or telling the story through like or you're reading it's like you're reading a graphic novel and then show they would tell some of the stories like off of the graphic novels or like the comic books and stuff and you're just like when you start reading the graphic novel you're just like yo there's stuff that's missing. It's one of the things I didn't like about reading graphic novels, certain stories. Like I said, did you hear ex Kevin from Like Live become back to days oh, with Peter Blake, with ex Peter August? I did hear that. I did hear about that Eagle. Actually a couple of days. Some exes I think it was a mix of substance abuse, violence, assault and stuff. I think it was the combo of everything. I mean I see why it's dark, but I don't know. It is what it is. It just it's a little jarring. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you read like comic books and graphic novels and stuff. It's like they'll show a main they'll show a main it's like when I was reading the Titans when I was reading Teen Titans and they killed off Flash, but they didn't do it in the main graphic novels. They did it like I don't know in the comics and stuff like that. So while I'm reading the main series, stuff that's going on, and then they're just like, "Oh, yeah, Flash got killed," and you're like, "Is there a reason why you can just add that in there?" Listen, I like Ramsey. I think that's his name. Yeah, something Wes Ramsey. Wes Ramsey. I like Wes Ramsey. I do hate that they didn't arrange for some way for the international fans to see the episode, even an edited version would have been okay. Yeah, it's jarring. Was not a fan, but yeah, it's already passed. So yeah, I have to catch up to the last 3 episodes. I have to catch up to the last 3 episodes. The actor playing Demetrius returning to Salem by the way of Javi and Leah are going to get married. Also, Wes will be. Yeah. We just talked about Wes, but okay. I mean, that's cool. It always interests me when these characters just leave and the way that they leave, and then you're like, you'll be lucky if they come back. Because I actually liked the Dimitri character. So when he left, I was like you never know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's like, was he like fired or did he quit or like what's the story? And you have Alex. Alex, you can tell wants to have a child. Stephanie's like, I don't know, maybe someday, whatever. How about we just drop it for now? Meanwhile, Joy, Joy, um, is carrying Alex's baby. Like that's some super foul shit. So I wonder, are they actually going to start to bring that story back to light, start to wrap up that story? Because this dude seemed like he's having like many baby fever, while you have a whole other character that is having his child off screen. Like she just left. And honestly, to tell you the truth, it was really odd because she didn't seem like a very deceitful person like that. That would just be like, oh, you chose her over me. So now I'm just gonna sit there and take your baby. I'm gonna sit there and raise it by myself. Like, girl, you don't have the money, the resources, or anything like that. Like you can barely take care of yourself, and you're sitting there telling me that she wants to just. Yes, Sean, I will be live streaming tomorrow. I got it planned out already, so we'll definitely be live streaming tomorrow. It's gonna be a good one. I was working on it today. Yeah, Sean. Listen, there was, and it worked out because there was no GA, so it was really no soap operas on. So I was like, all right, I got time. Yes, you will, Sean. Yeah, it was like I said, it wasn't a huge fan. Run. Let me be nice. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many people were actually really cared about Jerry Prentice like that. I know some people, well, I don't know. Honestly, to tell you the truth, you're the only person who I see sit there and talk about that character. So, if you ask me, I don't know. Like, I didn't know half of these other characters was coming back. They put them out on news sites and whatever else. So, like, all that is new to me. Like, I didn't know that Ramsey was there coming on. I didn't know that Peter Blake is coming back. So I damn sure am not gonna know anything about no Jerry Prentice. Um, Nor do I care, but I also don't care about Aaron, and we gotta sit there and see him a couple of times. I know DC, he really likes the teen stuff and he likes the Aaron Green stuff, and I'm like, I do not give a flying shit. I don't care. I do not feel bad for him whatsoever. You decide to sit there and knock some chick up, and now, you got her pregnant. You feel like you're not ready to sit and have a child, but then I gotta sit there and see you bitch and moan every time you see him. Like, I don't care. Like, I didn't care about the character before, so it makes me care even less. Yeah, Ron, it's called protection. Just because you're sleeping around doesn't mean that you're not using protection. You know, most of the times it works. That's another thing. Aaron was like, I was so careful and stuff like that. The one time I wasn't careful, that's when it happened. I was like, bro, have you never heard of sex act? Like, what do you think is going to end up happening the one time that you were careless? Like, okay, well, then that's what happens. Also, I don't know how to feel about Dion. Like, I really don't. Um, I don't dislike the character. I don't dislike the character, but like his whole attitude towards Gabby at one point, where he was putting words into her mouth, I wasn't a huge fan of that. Like, well, you don't think I could sit there and run a company because you was going to sit there and say because I'm autistic, right? It's like, don't put words in people's mouths. Like, I don't really like people like that because like they get easily offended and you start putting words into your mouth and being like as a reason to sit there and just jump to a conclusion that you didn't say. I don't fully. I mean, I know Samuel liked this character and that's great, but I think people like that just bother me in general. But yeah, they need to bring Joy back, but seeing how long it took for them to bring Hope back, um, how long it took for them to bring back Hope when they had this story that was going on, and they didn't even wrap it up until they started doing Beyond Salem. That's when they wrapped it up. Is when they did Beyond Salem. Um, what else? I don't really have empathy for Rachel. I really don't have any empathy for Rachel at all. I know people will sit there and call her a demon child and everything, which I'm like, okay, that might be kind of overkill, but putting her in a psychiatric hospital is probably the best thing that they could have sat there and did for that little girl because everybody else is in danger. Also, like this whole Sarah being like, "Oh, I forgive her and I love her, and I want to support her." It that should irritate the shit out of me because I knew she was going to sit there and say some shit like that. Like this little girl, Rachel could have killed you and took you away from your little girl. And then Victoria would have had been raised by Xander, a guy who right now you can't stand. And I felt like it would have been a little more realistic if she would have had some sort of resentment towards Rachel. But of course they won't go that route. They won't go that route. They just, oh, we're supposed to all sit there and feel sorry for Rachel when she shot EJ. Despite what DC said, that pumpkin could have did some serious damage to Kat um or Alex. And then she sits there and tries to kill Sarah. And now Sarah's supposed to have this kumbaya attitude of, oh, I'm just there for you. I still love her. And I'm like, of course you would go that route. Like, of course you would go that route. I don't know. Okay, that's great, Ron. I'm I don't have a comment for that, but You want it, then that's whatever. Rachel is what happens when you mix DiMeras with Kristen's DNA. Listen, Rachel is what happens when you have two disappointing parents. Mostly, when you have Kristen as a mother. I know Darby wants to sit there and try to put equal blame on Brady, and I feel like that's just because he doesn't like the character. Maybe one day he'll admit that to himself and to everybody else. But that's what happens when you have a mother like Rachel. I mean, when you have a mother like Kristen, and then you have people like Marlena that wants to sit there and cover shit up. And what Brady was upset with was that, like, if he would have knew about her behavior, maybe it would have got to a point where Sarah would have been poisoned by Rachel, where she actually thought that that shit was okay because, oh, well, she's in therapy, she's getting all the help she needs. Therapy is not working for her. Okay, therapy is not fucking. I can't even believe that Belle sat there and said, "Well, she's on the right path and she's in therapy." She shot somebody. Maybe switch therapy or like I said, put in fucking Bayview. Oh, that woke you up. Always push more blame on women, aka Kristen, instead of an ineffectual dad like Brady. Well, let's see. Who sat there? Listen, I'm not sitting there saying that Brady is a great dad, but like he's not out there committing crimes left and right. He has not been out there committing crimes for years like Kristen has. And as honestly tell you the truth, what's good, LaShawn? As Rachel's mom, a role model for Rachel, um, this falls more on her. If Brady was sitting there still drinking and doing terrible stuff, and then Tate started mirroring that behavior, guess what? I would put the blame on Brady. I'll put the blame on Brady for being a bad example as a father and as a male figure in his life. If he was still out there drinking and just being a general asshole like he used to. But he wasn't out there being a gun toting maniac like Kristen. Okay. Okay. All right. I respect your opinion, Danny Bear. So because so because Chris because Rachel was with Brady is not just all on Kristen. Let me ask you a question, Danny Bear. You being a woman, that's how it is. I I can't tell if you're Darby, I'm gonna get to you in a minute. Um, I mean, I personally disagree. Fathers get blame. I think that's a case by case basis, but okay. Danny Bear, you being a woman, who would you generally look up to or have as a role model more? Would it be your mother or would it be your father? Who would be more? Oh no, I didn't sit there and say that, but no, but I'm asking you, Danny Bear, like as a kid, like You being a woman, who would you sit there and have more of an ideal role model? Because most girls will sit there and say their mother. That's a great way that they're trying to downplay Kristen's role, but okay. Because that's my point, Dandy Bear. Um, is that Rachel would sit there and look up to more and mimic her mother. Her being a young girl would sit there and look up and look up to and mimic her mother more than her father. Just like Tate would sit there and look up more to his father and mimic his father's behavior more than his mother. And that's pretty much what I'm getting to. I'm saying fathers gets blamed. That just seems like a very blanket statement. That's just me. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying. Okay. It kind of dodged my question, but okay. But we'll agree to disagree. Um, Ron, I don't know what you're going on about, but if it upsets Danny Bear, we're gonna have a problem. I mean, yes, to an extent, yes. But I don't know if you're trying to dodge my question on purpose or you just don't like Brady, and I feel like that's mostly the reason why. But you know, either way, I will respectfully agree to disagree because this is the new me. You know, oh, that's her name, Dylan. Yeah, which I don't even know where they're going with that on Bald and the Beautiful. And she seemed like she already rented authority. So, like, what is she going to be doing? Crying for 20 minutes and apologizing for 20 minutes that she ran over Finn's daughter? All for Finn to be like, well, my whole life, my existence is about Steffi, and Steffi is what matters first, not that daughter of mine, is Luna. And granted, Luna was far from perfect. But the fact that Finn had Steffi just run his life, it was like it was clearly just. I mean, listen. I know that soap operas are a woman's fantasy, but in all reality, ain't no man gonna sit there and just let a woman sit there and run them like that to the point where they're so petrified of even trying to get to know their daughter, and then have their overbearing dad be like, "Well, you need to step up and do the right thing," because any man worth his salt would have told Riz to shut the up a long time ago. Would have literally put his ass in his place. Like, yo, listen, I will marry you, but what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna run my life, and I'm not gonna sit there and have your idiotic jackass father do that either. And I'll sit there and say right to her face, "You don't like it, kick rocks." Darby says Rachel has a screw loose. It wouldn't matter if she was part Black, Brady, Evans, or Horton, or any other family in that town. P.S. I forgot Johnson family. I mean, yes. Listen, okay, Darby, I get it because you can have two good, perfectly parents, and you can still sit there and raise a screw up. Okay, so there are a lot of factors. I don't know if you're trying to be more diplomatic or you just don't want to put this more on Kristen, but I see me personally, I see this more as a Kristen effort. Like Danny Bear says, yeah, she's with Brady most of the times, but regardless, she still is mimicking her mother's behavior because she looks up to her mother. Being a young girl, she's going to tend to look up to her mother figure. Ben needs to find out about Liam kissing Stephanie twice. Yeah, that is funny. I'm glad you brought that up, Danny Bear, because it's almost like the writers forgot. Like 2 years ago, when that shit happened, it must have been. I know it was over a year. I know it must have been like a year and some change that happened, and it's like they refuse to sit there and go there. Like for a whole fucking year, they refuse to sit there and talk about that. I was like, are you kidding me? No, not all. Statistics most do, um, but yeah, they refuse to sit there and talk about that. Like for a whole year and a half, they refuse to talk about it. And of course, now they don't sit there, you know, just like they refuse to talk about RJ. And what Carter was like, well, Luna is part of Forrester because of Will. I was like, Luna was part of Forrester because of RJ. Mm, you put most blame on the woman because Rachel is a female. I put it mostly on her because she's mimicking her mother's behavior, and her mother has been a bad example, as a parent compared to Brady. That's my whole thing. They refuse to sit there. Like it was wild to me. The fact that Carter sat there and said, "Well, um, RJ, that Luna's connected to Forrester because of Will." I was like, the only reason why they really hired Luna was because of RJ, because RJ liked her. He was working with granddad, and Eric wants to sit there and be nice to his grandson. So of course, hire his pretty girlfriend. Yeah, I mean I get that, Darby, but then I like their crimes are not exactly on the same level now. You, Darby, you are bro. Don't strain yourself, bro, because you are reaching hard. Darby, yeah, I rock with you, Darby. I do, but Darby is like reaching, like don't catch a spring. Don't sprain a muscle, bro. Yeah, they act like RJ don't exist. They it seems like both B&B and YNR has this very shitty way of telling stories at times. Um, yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, YNR with this Matt Clark, or he's not Matt Clark, but yet he's sitting there doing diabolical shit like kidnapping um, Noah and Sienna and playing these mind games with with Nick and Sharon. But then I'm not Matt Clark, bro. For somebody who's sitting there constantly claiming, 1 second, Ron, for somebody who's constantly claiming that you're not Matt Clark, but you're doing sadistic shit, you're not exactly making yourself look innocent. Now, of course, you got Nick and Sharon that are hanging out in this sketchy ass little part of LA, not going anywhere, not looking, just sitting there talking. I was like, are you gonna like bust down some doors or call the cops or anything like that? No, we're just gonna stand here for 20 minutes while Sharon is like, what happened? Where do you think he's at? I was like, why don't you move your asses and actually find out instead of talking? It's just sitting there going back and forth for 20 or 30 minutes. Like, I don't understand. I mean, listen, I heard that Y and R&B was great back in the day, but how those two shows survive now? Ron says, "Do you remember that Rachel for someone's signature and Kristen?" Yes, well, and that's another. Thank you, Ron. Yes, and you just proved my point right there because that's something that Kristen would do. Kristen would sit there. She smiled because she was proud of her for forging. I'm pretty sure that's against the law. Then Brady shouldn't have put his thing in crazy if he didn't want crazy kids. Plus, Tate's mom is no joke either. It's simple. Brady has a type and is complicated women, i.e., crazy. It's kind of a stretch, but okay. That's a huge stretch. Let's blame Brady for hooking up with Crazy Chick. That's a good one. That's that's a good one. I think you might. I think you might. Listen. You might actually be kind of a terrible lawyer. You might be kind of a terrible lawyer. He thought he was putting his thing in the coal. Oh, facts, Danny Bear, facts. Dominic says actually Brady was tricked at the time when I believe Rachel was created. That was during the time that they had those hyper realistic masks. Yes, the mask the mask that works and it somehow makes you shorter or taller depending on who you're impersonating. Um, like I said, surprisingly, my dad is actually liking the Matt Clark stuff, which is pretty interesting. I mean, like he's liking the whole LA stuff. That is correct, LaShawn. That he was, and yet people sit there and say, I love Todd Manning. He was great. He was amazing. I was like, I don't think those, like, when we watch the stuff with Marty Saybrook, for the people that sat there and said, I love Todd. He was amazing. He was the best ever. And I'm like, really? So you're just gonna you're just gonna sit there and act like he didn't do some horrible shit to Marty Saybrook? That's a good question, Jonathan. I have no idea. That's a damn good question. And Danny B, are you joke? Okay, so you must. Okay, so I'm gonna just assume by that comment that you are just trolling. Um, Dominic says even though Kristen and Nicole have completely different body types, and canonically Nicole is supposed to be at least 15 years old. So what was he? What was he, Danny Bear? If he wasn't a rapist, what was he? No, I want to hear this. I always wanted to ask you, Albert, who would win in a fight, Kristen or Nicole? Kristen, Kristen, Darby, Kristen. I'm not just saying that Nicole probably can't sit there and throw down, but like, especially if it's Eileen Davidson. I mean, not. I mean, Stacy. Stacy look like she can beat somebody's ass. Only person who I think would probably give her some issues is Phyllis from The Young and Restless, because both of those chicks are tall. Like they both come across as like Amazonian kind of women. So the only person who I could sit there and see that he did. Kristen did get slapped by Ava. I'm surprised Kristen didn't beat Ava's ass. Do you not sit there and see the size difference between those two? Her and Sammy had some fights. Listen, I would sit there and say this. Last day had a really good point when he said that when he said that the Bold and Beautiful used to actually, like, the cast used to actually do like feeding the homeless and stuff like that, and throughout LA and some of the poverty and stuff. Um like they used to actually do that. And now they just show no these pointless episodes of Thanksgiving and nothing happening in there. When he used to actually do like meaningful shit back then. Max says, remember Ava is a gangster though. Remember when Ava snatched that gun from Allie and basically told her. I remember that. I guess, I mean, there's a couple of factors that go into it. I mean, she did kind of sneak up on her. It's not like she was pointing the gun and Kristen was just like fucking Wonder Woman or whatever, but like maybe Jonathan, maybe what if? I hope, but I won't get my hopes up. No, I know that much. Like maybe I wouldn't get my hopes up, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I like um Brandon. That's his name. I would like him to come back. I thought I liked his character, so I wouldn't say nay to it. Tori says, I don't know how Taylor could have broken bread with Ridge after. Facts. I like the wine on dates being the home stuff. We didn't see them do that much, but they had that set up. Ron says your honest opinion on why Brady. Oh, I have no idea. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Ron. You say that Brad Bell hates Taylor. Unless he actually says it, I'm just gonna sit there and put it as hearsay. I mean, if it's a recast, I don't know how much I would actually care. Unless he's good. That's the only way it's gonna sit there and save it. Unless he's good. And if he ain't good, then I'm not opposed to a recast. I know that recast needs to happen. Exactly. Now, Danny Beer says, Brandon said he wouldn't come back 2 days after they fired him 3 times. So yeah, we're sitting there looking at a recast, and Taylor's nice. Facts, Danny Bear. Taylor's nice. I would have told Riz to take his ass home. Yeah, like the fact that she was sitting there smiling and stuff like that was like, yo, listen, you've been jerking this woman around for years. And then you come over and sit there and say, well, I want to sit there and be with y'all. Like, I actually tell you the truth, listen, I get that most people don't want to be bitter and, especially on Thanksgiving, but like, that's so unrealistic. And I know it's a soap opera, so it's like we're gonna just stretch out bullshit that just doesn't make sense. But like again, it's like what Sarah sat there and forgave Rachel. This little girl could have took you away from your little girl. What we're supposed to sit there and act like there wouldn't be any sort of animosity, no resentment whatsoever, just pink juice and butterflies. Like what the fuck are we doing? No, I didn't. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it just disappointed me a little bit. It low key disappoints me that that little girl could sit there and practically could damn near kill you, and you're just supposed to be all kumbaya about it. But I do get what you're saying. It still annoys me. Oh yes, the other one. Yes, yes. I did get that. That was the intro one. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna change it up. But the thing is, Jonathan, what I usually do, who would have a grudge with a kid? If that little kid took you away from you, could have took you away from your daughter or your son, I think I would absolutely have a grudge. I'd be like, yo, do not sit there and bring that little girl near me because that little girl could have killed me, and I could have left this world, and that child, my child, would have lost a parent. So ain't no way in hell that I would be kumbaya about that. That's a good question, Ron. That's a good question. But yeah, because usually what I do, Jonathan, before I put out any video, like any of the General Hospital videos, yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. What I usually do is I put it unlisted, and I give YouTube a chance. Like I usually give YouTube like a good 20 minutes to see if there's anything that they would consider copywritten material before I put it out. And that's usually when I get like the green stamp of approval, and then I put it out. But I don't just put it straight out though. But I do appreciate you looking out though. Thank you, Jonathan. Domex says now Claire from Hollywood would have beef with a child she was feuding with Tom since he was 9 years old, like trying to unalive him beef. Yeah, Claire. Listen, I miss Claire Gaynor. No, but I appreciate it though. And I actually am going to use that intro as well, though, because I think it'd be really interesting. And I'll switch it up and stuff. But thank you for sending it to me, though. You remember? It was like you remember what happened on Sunday. Like Sarah got help within seconds. She's fine. Hmm. I don't know. I mean, people are different though, Danny Bear. Like you may be like fine and blah 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 about it, but I don't think I would be. And I just feel like it's not just. Also, just to say, oh well, she's fine. It's like, well, she could have been fine. Yeah, I mean, it's great that she was, but like, what if she wasn't? Like most people who have near death experience don't just sit there and be like, oh no, I'm fine. Like no, you start to sit there and think about all the possibilities and stuff that you could have missed out on, or they could have sat there and missed out on because of Rachel's actions. She could have been sitting there missing out on birthdays and being a grandma and stuff like that. Just all sorts of things that would have probably missed because of her. So I don't know, just okie dokie, well you're fine. No big deal. Nah. Fuck that. And also that's just me though too. Like I don't just get over shit like that. Or I don't just get over shit in general. But they decided to play it the way they played it, and like Domek said, and like you said, and like I said, Danny, and like you said, she raised her since birth. She loves her and stuff. I do. I can't can't help it, Danny Bear. I do. I do. I go kind of deep, which is yeah, that's just me. That's just me. Now Jennifer and Jack think Chad just abandoned the kids and they're going to use it in court. Which, they annoy, but Thomas also annoy me though too. I can't help it, Danny B. That's just the way my mind works. I'm an overthinker. With her Rachel, she can catch these hands. I wouldn't do that, but a restraining order. Okay, hold your grudge with a child. Well, here's the thing, Danny B. I get it's not diplomatic or it's not nice, but I feel like it's realistic at the very least, right? Like I own it. I'm not sitting there saying it's nice or it's healthy or whatever, but I own that. I'm okay with that. Also, should Sheila be careful and use birth control? She's Lord, we're still coming back to this. Sheila being pregnant. What are you writing? You were bad mouthing Aaron about getting Sophia pregnant and being irresponsible. Also, should Sheila be careful and use birth control? Well, yeah, she doesn't want to have a geriatric pregnancy, like because she can't get pregnant. Well, that's not. To be fair, Jonathan, that's not entirely true that she can't get pregnant, but she damn sure shouldn't get pregnant. She definitely shouldn't get pregnant. And of course, Jonathan. Um, we told Ron this plenty of times, and he just clearly refused to listen. Sheila don't care about her other kids. Sheila don't give a damn about her other kids. The only child, only one of her kids that she cares about is Finn, and obsesses with him like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, at Sheila's age, you would be priest. I'm just saying, like, yo, she doesn't care about her other kids. Why is she having more kids? I don't understand why Ron wants Sheila to get pregnant. Oh, well, I do. He wants to sit there and see the look on he wants to see the reaction of Finn. Yeah, he just wants it to sit there. He just wants her to get pregnant this way to see Finn's reaction. That's it. I agree with that. Listen, I agree with that. I mean, any man that's sit there letting his wife sit there and tell him what to do and what not to do and jump and how high, exactly, for shock value. Yes, exactly, Jonathan. That's why whenever he sits there and writes that now, I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, I don't sit there and get annoyed or anything like that because he's asked me that question like 1,000 something times. Just like, okay, Ron, I forgot you like shock value. That's cool. But I don't know. Shit. She was nearly a great grandma. What kind of hood mess would that be to have a kid when you were just a few months away from being, you know, Johnny and EJ could end up being kidnapped next. Here's DiMera. I mean, I would hope not, just because I don't want to hear Chanel's mouth. Chanel be like, EJ, this is your fault, blah, 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 blah. You and your family, blah, 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 blah. And I don't, I mean, I can do a review, but like sometimes I'm just like, yes, Ron, and we get it. That's where you said shock value. Um, I have to usually calm myself down whenever Chanel starts to act out of pocket and stuff. Like Trina is already Trina is already pissing me off. And I know the Trina fans aren't happy with me like I give a shit, but I can't be dealing. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot for me to have to sit there and deal with that type of bratty, nasty, bitchy attitude. Like I don't have patience, and it takes everything for me to not um be super negative. Jonathan, don't fall for the bait. Don't fall for the bait, bro. Don't fall for the rage bait. I'm telling you right now, don't fall for the rage bait. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Which I fucking love passions, by the way, and I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into whatever rawness that they're talking about. But I fucking love passions. Anyway, I do have to sit there and end the stream here because I gotta wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning again. I was going back and forth with first to even do a stream because like they didn't even really show any soap operas today, like none. But I still have stuff on my mind, and since I did a collab on Wednesday, I was like, all right, let me get some shit off my chest that I didn't get to do before. And this was an off the cuff sort of stream because it was no notes. So thank you, Domex. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was kind of on the fly, so I'm glad everyone had a good time. Thank you, Domex. Thank you, Blackmon, aka Mr. GQ. Johnson says, join us for another edition of Choke Chat with our Bustic. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Have a good night, Ron. Johnson says, good night, everyone, and hit the like button. Just hit that like button because it does help. Pushes me up, and the streams numbers has been doing good because of that. So, have a good night, LaShawn. Have a good night, Darby. Have a good night, Danny Bear 87. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to Danny Bear, definitely subscribe to her. Um, Subscribe to her videos, hit the like button. Let's push her up in the algorithm because the algorithm loves to sit there and fuck over creators because, like, why not? So definitely support Danny Bear 87. With that being said, members, I will sit there and see you tomorrow. And everybody else who, have a good night, Tracy Steves. Hope I get to see you this weekend. We have a lot of fun. If you're not a member, become a member. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And of course, Danny Bear, of course. You know I got you. I don't shout out people I don't believe in, and I believe in you.